Hey, welcome back to another Inspirational Tuesday. Look, hit that share button for me, please. Please hit that share button. Share this with somebody you know. Our text today is coming from Romans chapter 8 and verse number 28, where it says, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." And then in Psalms, we're going to look at Psalms 31 and verse 15. It says, "My times are in your hands. Deliver me from the hands of my enemies, from those who pursue me." Now, I want to take time today to talk about God's timing. I want to talk about God's timing. Civil traffic engineers throughout the entire world have tried any number of interesting methods to get traffic to slow down. Traffic lights, things like police speed traps, digital speed displays, speed bumps, slow down children playing signs, flashing reduced speed ahead signs, and hundreds of other measures have all been employed with some level of success. But I found an article about one particular interesting measure that was instituted in the Dutch city of Delft. It said that European traffic calming began as a grassroots movement in the late 1960s. And, angry residents of the Dutch cities of Delft turned their streets into woonervens or living yards, if you will. What were once channels for movement of cars became shared areas decorated with tables and benches, sandboxes and parking bays stuck out in the middle of the street. See, the effect was to turn the street into an obstacle course for cars to come through, and an extension to home residents, while living there. So woonervens were officially endorsed by the Dutch government in 1976. Over the next decade, the idea spread to many other countries. Laws and regulations were changed to permit these Wooner designs in Germany. They were in Sweden, I think Denmark, England and France and Japan and Israel and Australia and Switzerland, just to name a few. By the 1990s, there were more than 3,500 shared streets in the Netherlands and also in Germany, 300 in Japan, 600 in Israel. See, the twists and the turns, plus brick pavement and periodic raised areas in the road, brought motorists down to walking speed almost, meaning about 9 miles per hour. And I can imagine in my mind the reaction of us here in America flying down a busy street only to encounter a sofa sitting out or a table or a sandbox strategically placed as a roadblock to slow them down. And I said that to ask this question to you today. Have you ever felt like God is throwing all manner of crazy roadblocks in your way as you are flying forward, your desired destination in your life? Any manner of strategically placed roadblocks like illnesses and financial distress and family and broken relationships, kids not acting right, people that don't even know you they're tripping on you. You just name it, whatever it is. These things can slow us down or even stop us in our tracks. Trials can be God's roadblocks to slow us down, cause us to focus on what really matters in life, and then ultimately save us from a calamity in life. In the end, God knows better than any civil engineer where you need to be and when you need to be there. Because Paul reminds us in Romans 8:28, he says, "And we know that in all things God works for those, the good of those who love him, who are called according to his purpose." And then David says, "My times are in your hands." So maybe instead of us rejecting and getting upset because things are not moving fast enough in this season or even in our life, God just may be using these things to slow us down, to focus on relationships that really matter. So that business that you've been dreaming about, that kid that's starving for your attention right now. And as I get ready to let you go, God says through the prophet Isaiah, "In an acceptable and favorable time, I have heard and answered you. And in a day of salvation, I have helped you." Hey, I'm out of time, but listen, Remember, it's about God's timing. Now, let's go focus on what really matters in life. And I'll see you back here next time. God bless.